Hi everybody, I'm Mr. Steve, and this is a tutorial for the new IES lighting add-on, which is a collab between myself, SKD Sam, my collab buddy, and the ieslibrary.com website, which hosts over 800,000 IES lights from dozens of manufacturers. You're going to find all these in one place. The add-on does come with preset lights for almost every single manufacturer, so you don't have to worry about scraping across the web and trying to find IES lights. It's already going to come with enough lights to get you started. Now, in order to benefit fully from this, the API will allow you to not only save favorites amongst thousands and thousands of lights, which could get tedious, and then download them instantly into the add-on. You could do single uploads, and you can also do mass downloads. And this is going to allow you to do a lot with this add-on. Now I'm going to show you how the pagination works in here, which is going to be an incredible add, and it's going to help you guys organize, set up the number of lights displayed on the end panel add-on, and it's going to be super easy to use. It's going to be functional. If you're working in a studio, you're going to love this. If you're working as a beginner, you're going to love this because it's point and click, and you're going to have access to professional, real-world lighting. Let's jump right in and take a look. This is a tutorial and overview for the IES lighting add-on. I'm going to show you how to install this. I'm going to show you how to use it and how to benefit the best way from this add-on. This is designed to go and work in tandem with the main IES library website, and myself and Sam are in full collaboration and agreement with the website owner to not only create this add-on, but pass it to you guys from Blender Market and give you guys the option to collectively have access to over 800,000 lights. Let's take a look real quick at the website. Now over here at the main IES library website, you can choose to register or log in. If you already have a login, go ahead and do that. And I'm going to log in, and you're going to get this page. This is going to be where you start, and you can choose from manufacturer side, and you can look to see how many lights are in each one of these. I don't generally use this page too much. I stay on the browse feature because right here under manufacturers, you can just scroll through and then select something. It will pop it up, and then you have the chance to go ahead and grab the lights. Now, the thing is, you can click on this. You can download the IES with a free API. But those are limited and they run out really quick. So the deal is, this is better with a subscription. Now, hearing that, don't run away, because inside of the add-on that you're going to get from Blender Market, you've already got 2 or more lights in every single one of these manufacturers. You're going to get that. So the add-on comes packed and ready to go with a ton of different lights. Now, the thing you can do is you can manually install some of these via the free API for sure. You cannot do the mass downloads, mass zips. That's just per the website owner. So we host the add-on, and he hosts the website and the access to the almost 900,000 lights. So in so doing, once you've grabbed your API, which I'm going to get, unfortunately I have to pause that portion so I don't have my screen here. It's a big deal to like block everything off. I have to block almost the whole page. But once you select here, you would either go to mass download if you have a pay API, and then you can go to API and grab it. So I'll do that. And then from here, I would jump back over to the add-on. I would go to the API, Control V, and press enter. And it will then say API live. It'll check it against the website. And then you're all good to go once you've got that set up. Now, the access for this is very simple, or the workflow is very simple. I'll go over everything. It's going to drop a light in. It's going to be able to update. This will actually update with a different light. So if I want to change how this light looks, I just click here, and it's going to update that light for us. Now, I do want to be as thorough as possible so you guys do understand this. If you don't know much about IES lighting, there are lighting specifications in the website for every single light to transfer into Blender. I put this one to 200 milliwatts, but if you were to go back over to the website, let's go to browse, and we can grab any light that we want, and we go ahead and look right here. We'll see that there's going to be some energy for Blender. This is what this light requires. So if we were to download this, and this is just the one we're working on, you'll see there's energy values there that are based on this. And inside the add-on, you can identify the lights through the hash. But if you want the exact measurements, then you have that access to you right there. Now, there's a few ways to get these in here. Let's cover some of these. And I'm going to start with the easiest stuff first. In preferences, under add-ons, if we go to install, you can install this with a hash API. So you still have to have the API, but you can just grab the hash code. Like I was saying, this is used for not only the website, but for our add-on. This just identifies each light. So then I could come over here and Control V and paste that in and hit enter. And I already had that one installed, so I'm going to go grab a totally different looking light. I'm going to grab the hash code and hit Control C. And I want to jump back over here and I can hit enter. Now, let's be mindful of where this is coming from. This is coming from Bega. So if I go back to Bega and I'm trying to do this manual one at a time, I want to switch back to Bega after I went ahead and clicked this button. This is going to upload it into the add-on and it's going to save it for you. You don't have to do anything else. So now we can minimize that and let's go over here to Bega. So you have to find the manufacturer and you'll see our light is right here. Now we'll check the IES node, so you can just look at this. It does come with a standard node setup already for you with every single light and or update. It just updates it. I've got a basic little scene set up here just to demo the light in a confined area. Let's jump into cycles. I've got GPU compute on, so whatever's fastest for your PC. And then I can click add light. I'm gonna press G and X to kind of move this out just a touch so it's not between the mesh. And then I can update this light with anything I want and change it. Now, something important note that if you have this light, let's go back to our original, and it looks all sharp and everything like this does, you don't have to have it look that way. We can change, number one, the black body intensity, and there will be a spectrum list you can go into documentation and look at on Blender Market. And we can also blur the edges. So if we just add a slight blur to this, it's going to soften up these edges for us just a touch, which is going to be really nice. You can also change the intensity of the light itself and bring it down to about half of what it was. And remember, there are the light intensities on Blender Market, not Blender Market, but on the IES website. So on any light you click on and you go into, you will see the Blender energy value. You Control C, copy that, and you can put it into Blender. And if you are a professional in the field, then I would suggest go into the photometric editor. You can get the more photorealistic breakdown of that light and how it's supposed to look. I would not recommend this for beginners for sure, but just kind of go through this, and if you know what you're doing here, all good. If not, use the basic chart that I'm going to have in documents and documentation, which will really help you out. So if I go into energy and paste this in and hit enter, then I'm going to get that, and it's going to be about the intensity of that light, and then whatever black body intensity that you find is going to be right for you in your scene. With the black body intensity, you will actually be able to get a little bit closer to photorealism. Nothing is going to be absolutely flawless, but you will be able to achieve a much, much higher degree of accuracy to scene in real world lighting, especially using the IES add-on and then, of course, the website with the specifications in it. I do like to kind of bump up the light just a little bit, maybe not that much, but just a touch. Like 0.5 is usually pretty good on the energy. So that's how you will do that. Now the next thing we're going to cover is going to be mass downloads. This is also going to be via the API. And we will cover the manual install and then the install favorites after that. So let's go to the mass zip. I've actually already got one loaded in here, but if you don't, let's go over to the website. Now over here, you would have chosen to go to mass download, and then you can go through the manufacturers. Let's just go something like Equilux. This one's really nice. This is like 30,000 lights. This is absolutely insane, and you can just do this, and then it's just going to work in the add-on. So we'll go ahead and download this. Now I've got 119 page zip, so that's going to work really nice in the add-on. Let's jump back over. And back in the add-on, I will go back in, and let's see, I'm just gonna go float around here, downloads, and here's my 119 page. Everything looks good here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and click install, and as you saw, that just installed, and the bar just disappeared so quick because it did it so fast. So now what we want to do is close that, and I want to go to Aculux, which is over here. It's alphabetical, super cool. And boom, now we've got this, and it doesn't translate to 119 pages in here because you can change how this pagination looks. Now let's go over this, and I'm going to expand this and make this just a lot bigger so everybody can see this very, very easy. Now inside of the pagination, what this is a display grid. 9 and 3 is where I keep it. You can have it anywhere you want. You can bring this all the way down to 1, doesn't matter, and you can just have the grid at 1. And then I can increase this and just have a list going straight up and down. So if you want to do it that way vertically, you can. I would suggest something like maybe 6 and 2, because what you're going to do is you're going to end up with an even cluster of the IES displayed. Now, if you go 7 and 2, you're going to have a gap right here, but that's just because of your settings. Nothing's missing. However, if you are on 8 and 2 and something is missing, you can hit refresh, or you may be just at the end of the pages. So let's go back. It looks like, let me just go ahead and flip through here. You can see how fast these are loading. This is ridiculous. So, okay, so I've got that many pages. It definitely drops the amount of pages that you're going to have depending on how you have it set. So for me, back to 9 and 3, I like that a lot. Then of course we add in our ES light at the 3D cursor. That's where it's popping in, and then we can update it here, or we can delete it. This does delete it out, completely out of the folder, so be careful with that. And down here, you can do an IES light show or not. You can just select them. If you try to delete a light that is not selected, that's not going to work. So make sure you select the light you're trying to delete, because Blender works with active objects. Now, once you've done that install, just go over to add-ons, type in IES, drop this down, and you'll see your API area here. Now, once you've got a login, you can enter that in. Now, let's go to the IES website and check that out. This will be the website as you enter it, ieslibrary.com. You would click register if you're brand new. Obviously, if you have a login, go ahead and do that. Click login so you can kind of see email address, password, click login. If an ad pops up, just minimize that ad or get rid of it, and then you're good. Now, also, once you're logged in, if you want to get your API and you've signed up, and you do get a free API also once you've logged in, but it's very limited and will expire pretty quick. So what you do is you come in, click on your email address, go down to API, then you'll come in, copy, paste your API. I'm not sure if on the free one you can create a new key or not, but I have that. So once you've signed up, you definitely get it. Let's go back to the add-on, go to preferences. And if I didn't have that in there, it would say API error, but I just Control V that in and hit enter. It's going to say API live. It's going to check it against the website, so it'll know it's good. Then you can go in and do mass downloads. All right, now we're over at the website. I'm going to show you guys how to do the manual stuff. It's no different than what the website's already doing, but in order to get the extra controls and add something to the add-on without the API, you'll have to do it this way. So what you do is you come over, you choose a manufacturer. It could be anything that you want. I'm going to go with Emerson Electric Company. And don't forget, the add-on's already going to have the first couple of these lights, so you don't want to dub that up. But I really like this one right here, so I'm going to select it. I want to go ahead and add it to favorites in case I want to sub up later and have the pay account. So now I'll download the IES, and that's just going to be where it is. I'm going to right click. I'm going to save this image. I already created a folder on my desktop called IES drop. So I'm going to go ahead and save that in there. And if I pull up IES drop, let's see if I can just grab another file explorer with my downloads. And I've got this IES here. So you need this pair. And then you can go back over to the add-on. And once you're in the add-on, you can click install and manual. And what we need to do is go to that manufacturer. So I need to go to the electric, and I have already forgot what it was called. So we're going to jump back over. Emerson Electric Company. So I'm going to come back over and just hover my mouse over that little arrow. It should just scroll up just like anything in Blender. So here we go, Emerson Electric Company. And once that's selected and you're here, this is going to open the actual file as it stands. And it looks like we've already got 3 IES lights in here. So if we go ahead and select the 2 that we had to update this, this is the folder that the lights are being stored in the add-on. So if we just dump this over here, we're now going to have extra lights. One thing to remember is, hey, I've got this image and I need this image that I downloaded, and I need that hash IES, and these are going to be the exact same hash code. So if you don't have one in here, it's going to either have the image or it's not, and it's going to have just the IES, and it's going to error out for that folder. So you don't want to do that. Make sure you've got both the image and the actual IES file. So instead of that number, let's go over and we'll check Emerson Electric Co. All right, so great, under Emerson Electric Company, I've now got that light that I added in, and all I have to do is click Add IES. And what it's going to do is it's going to add a light, and it's going to also update the node group. And we'll just get a little view here of what's actually happening. You can see that IES hash and then the file location. So if I go over here and I update this, you'll see this will change with the update. But this button will add a new light and a new group. So try not to add that if you've got the active selected. And then you do have some identification for lights in here, and you'll be able to switch through the different lights in the scene. So this will make it nice and easy for you guys to use. Now I've got 2 types of artists out there. Some of you guys like to see this in the grainy raw cycles view, and some of you guys like to see this in the denoise. So I'm going to show this one first. And you can see that nice light spread from our light that we just downloaded. So now you know how to do a single manual download, which is totally free on the website. You can do that all day long. And for my denoise people, I'm using my optics for my 3060 NVIDIA. Doesn't look too shabby. It's only at 10 samples out of 50. So now you can see how that looks as more of a final, if you will, but not perfect. That makes it a little laggy. I did delete a couple of these back here because it's lagging my my laptop down. But that in simplicity is how you do it. And now the final way to do installation of the add-on is to get your favorites. And if you spent any number of times going through this website in the past, or if you're new, you're going to end up with a bunch of favorites. Everyone always does. I'm going to choose something we're not using yet. I'll choose the... Let's see, I want to go all the way down here. I'll take the indie lights. And we're going to do a couple of favorites here. Mind you, you do have the first 2 lights in there already. You can delete those out, and then clear your folder. And then go ahead and just download all these and get them by pages. So let's get a couple of these and favorite them. I'm just going to add this to favorites. Just kind of click off, grab this one, add favorites. And let's see what else we got. Let's request some more, because you can just keep going and going and going with this forever. And then I'll make a favorite here. That looks good. So now with those favorites, I'll go back to the add-on. And for installing favorites, let's go over here. It's going to scrub through and add all of your favorites for you, which is going to be very nice. And if I go over, let's see, where was I? Indie lights, I believe. Looks like I've only got... Get this to expand out. I've only got 2 found right now. But if I install favorites and just give that a second, when this isn't blue, then obviously the operation is done. And we'll just wait. I don't know how many favorites I've got. I've been in this website now for months. Bound to have a few. Okay, so that's good. So I'll select indie again. And there we go. I had gotten those 3. So those go in super easy, and the favorites is definitely part of the Pay API. But like I said, don't freak out. You've got tons and tons of lights, just a ridiculous amount of lights, and every single one of these is going to look absolutely amazing. There's not one bad light in here. So we just change that, and the effects you can come up with are pretty much endless. That is why we call it the IES Infinite Lighting Add-on. Now there are some camera controls and different things here. If you happen to have a camera in the scene, since we've pretty much covered everything else, there is a slight camera setup here and a camera manager. It's going to be some decent controls for you. If we go ahead and collapse that down, you'll see, hey, I've got these cameras in here. I got 2 of them. Maybe I don't want the 2 cameras. Let me actually grab one and delete it. I think camera 01 can definitely go away. There we go. So now that I've only got the 1, let's go ahead and do a quick exercise. This comes with a couple of unique things. Obviously, you've got your depth of field, so you would have a focus object. We'll select the sphere that I just entered into the scene here. Let's pull out of that lighting so we can kind of see what we're doing. And pretty cool, because with depth of field on, you get a new look in the scene. Very cool. And if we click on the focus camera algorithm, it's going to automatically grab the closest object, which is the sphere. And then if we have another one that is just slightly closer to the scene, this would be sphere 01. So let's grab that one. Let's delete that out, and you press focus camera. It's going to grab sphere 001. And then, of course, you can take the f-stop and throw all the rest of those objects that are not that close out of focus. Very cool. Just gives you a little bit of a preset. There's close-up, mid-range, long shot, and some different things. Landscape, portrait, just a few different things to kind of get you guys going. This something that's a little bit more for beginners, just so they can have something here and not have to go hunting down the majority of those features.